Alright, YouTubers, I'm going to do something I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to rail fan for a few minutes. It's a Saturday afternoon and there might not be a train within miles. I have no idea. But I've got a little bit of time to kill, so I'm here in Jackson. I'm here in Jackson, Georgia, so I'll spend a few minutes. I thought I would spend just a few minutes and maybe get lucky enough to catch a train. I could spare 30, 40 minutes sitting here. Oh, this is a nice little hunk of iron. Well, my vertigo's getting me. It's time for my vertigo to go messing up. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to take that piece of iron home. Anyway, we're going to sit here and wait for a train for a little while. If I don't get one, it won't be the end of the world. It'll be the first time I come rail fanning and it didn't get a train. Used to rail fan a lot right over there before they rebuilt that, tore down that old grocery store and put up a bottle shop. Anyway, we're waiting, sitting and waiting. Well, YouTubers, I picked a bad afternoon to do a little rail fanning. I've sat here about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I guess. I hadn't heard nothing. I got stuff to do at home, so I guess I'll get on down the road. In the meantime, I want to do something with this video, so let's make it a driving home from Jackson trip. Gotta stop and get some gasoline while I'm thinking about it, or I'll be walking. I've watched a lot of trains by here, but I won't see any today. I guess now on this drive home from Jackson would be a good time to talk and tell a little story or something, rather than sit here and listen to myself think. About my next project we're going to do is repair James's brand new lawnmower. Yep, that's right. I'm talking about the one he bought a couple days ago, that brand new Cub Cadet. He took that thing home with him, got it off the trailer, and made it around the front yard about 2 or 3 times before he hit a rock or something and bent one of the blades. I hope that's all that's wrong. He done had one more with a tore up engine. I hope he ain't done tore up another one. But I told him I'd try to replace the blades for him. He has to work 10, 12 hours a day, so he ain't got time to do it himself. But it's not a big deal to put blades on. It can get dang right serious when you have to make bigger repairs on a mower, though. Speaking of repairing mowers, I used to do that a lot in my younger years. The wife and I lived in a mobile home park for 10, 15 years. And almost everybody in that mobile home park had a push lawnmower for cutting their yard or their lot, whatever you want to call it. And I got to repairing mowers for people around there. I did a lot of small engine repairs when I was in the Navy, so I kind of had a knack for it. I'll continue this story in a minute. Well, I had to gas old Betsy up, and it was a little low on oil, so we ended up, I better go out by the light. It's been a while since I checked the oil in this piece of bucket of bolts. We had to add some more. I was talking about I used to repair lawnmowers and small engines. I recall lots of times I've worked on lawnmowers, but a couple stories come to mind. That there was a young man lived in the mobile home park we lived in. He was about, I don't remember now, 13, 14 years old. Somebody had gave him a mini bike. One of them little small mini bikes that runs off of like a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton or whatever kind of engine. No, it had a Tecumseh engine on it. I remember now. And he had took it completely apart trying to fix it. I mean, he had it down to the piston, chain, handlebars. I mean, everything, anything on there you could take apart on that engine, he had took apart. And would you help me put it together? Well, he got out there and put the whole thing together by himself. But, and I helped him with a few tips here and there what to do next. And he did pretty good on it. And we couldn't get it to run. It just don't make no sense. We're getting fire, we're getting this, we're getting that. It should be running. And that Tecumseh engine at that time, I wasn't real familiar with those carburetors. In the jet in the needle valve, there's a little small jet in the needle valve itself that you gotta clean out. If it's clogged up, you ain't getting no gas. And every time I would clean the carburetor for him, or go through it and check what I thought it was cleaning, I'd lay that needle valve down. And I finally thought, well, let's take a closer look at this needle valve. And I found that little hole in it, cleaned it out with a safety pin, straight pin or something. And it fired up and run. So the boy did pretty good putting his mini bike together. Well, a couple of days later, he come up to the house to have himself a riding lawnmower. Mr. Parks, will you help me with this? I said, what's the matter with it? It won't run. Somebody gave it to me. They said I could have it. And they did give it to him, some of the neighbors there. But it was a pretty good sized little riding lawnmower. And what the kids had been doing was just rolling down the hill like it was a dune buggy or a go-kart or something. Running into a tree or something, they didn't care. And I checked this little riding lawnmower out. I said, we ought to get this thing running too. Well, when you crank it up, it would run for about 15 seconds. Run beautiful, sound good, and quit. After it cooled off for a while, you crank it up, it would run 10 or 15 seconds. Once it was hot, it wouldn't hit a lick. Well, I took the spark plug off to see if we're getting any fire, and sure enough, you're getting the fire jumping across there when you hold it to a ground. So I'd lay the spark plug down and say, we got fire. It ain't in the electrical system. It's working just fine. And everything, I did everything I could think of to get that lawnmower fixed. Son, this has got me puzzled. We're going to get it running, come hook or crook. And I said, well, I know what. There's one more thing I can try. Looked in my toolbox and found the spark plug off of one of my Ford automobiles or something. Wasn't even the right size spark plug. Screwed that into the lawnmower, pulled the plug, and it fired off and run like a champ. So the spark plug was bad. Even though I was getting fire to the spark plug, as soon as it got hot, it was shorting out and going dead. So cold, it would run good when it was cold, but once it got hot, the inside of that spark plug would separate and it wouldn't work anymore. So there's always some little confusing something that you can't figure out when you're working on an engine like that. My wife loaned out my push mower to one of the neighbors. We got a little small push mower, brand new one, and it came back not running. I said, you hit something, didn't you? No, we didn't hit nothing. Well, it was running when you left here with it. I don't mind fixing it, but I wish they'd have told me when they brought it back instead of just parking it out here in the yard and not telling me that it wasn't running anymore. When I got ready to cut grass, it wouldn't run. So what'd y'all hit with this lawnmower? No, I didn't hit nothing. So I had to tear into the engine. And what it was a little slot key in the flywheel. When you pull the flywheel off, there's a little slot key that has to be lined up to put on the flywheel. And if you hit something real hard, it'll shear that slot key off. And this one, it didn't really shear it completely. It just kind of took a chunk out of it and bent it about halfway. But it was enough to change the timing on that lawnmower where it wouldn't run. So that slot key is lined up with the timing on your top dead center, so it'll know when to fire with the piston at top dead center. Won't do you a bit of good, just put some fire through there when it's not compressed. There's always some little something you got to figure out that you didn't know from before, and it's been ages and ages since I worked on any lawnmowers to speak of. And I know the basics of checking an engine, you know, to see if you got fire and fuel. Carburetors have got so cotton picking complicated. I got a green Sears Craftsman lawnmower out there in the garage, and I need to pull it back out and finish fixing it. I was doing that project here a year or two ago and got detoured. It was running when I parked it, but it's surging. Something needs to be done in the carburetor. I called a lawnmower shop and said, give me a carburetor kit for this thing. Well, they don't make them anymore. You can't buy a carburetor kit for that. I can sell you a carburetor for like $300. I'm not the one to pay $300 or $250 or whatever it was they wanted for this darn thing. For a lawnmower I'm probably not going to use twice a year anyway. So, well, I'll try to rebuild this carburetor. Well, I took it off, I can't get the bowl off of it without bending the snot out of it. Since I got no kit, I was trying to salvage the gasket, so it stopped. I'm going to have to take that old Japanese-made carburetor and soak it in something and see if I can get that old Sears lawnmower running again. It was a good mower. But I'm not about to get into lawnmower repair business on a regular basis anymore. That's a lot of hard work getting done working on this mower. It was not uncommon for me to fix 2 or 3 lawnmowers a week back in them days. You don't make no money at it. Time you buy parts and stuff. And I guess you could if you jack up and charge them a lot. Usually it was a friend or something that wanted something to do, and 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't even charge them for it. Gassed this thing up a while ago. I was running low on fuel. Sure wouldn't want to walk on. Anyway, my little rail fan trip today was a big flop. It wasn't intended to be a rail fan trip anyway. I had to come over here and get my GoPro camera that I left in James's car. Truck, I should say. I'll lay this camera down and look for it for 20 minutes before I find it. Same way with a cell phone. How many of you out there just spend more time looking for your cell phone than you do actually use it? It's not uncommon for me to look all over the house and then find it laying on some place that I had no idea when I left it there. I appreciate y'all riding along with me on this little trip and listening to me shoot the bridge. I don't know if I'm actually going to produce this video or not. Some of you might enjoy seeing this ride, looking through my dirty windshield. This little red light here, if you turn to the right, you go to the new warehouse for the Dollar General. They got a big, huge warehouse they built down there for supplying all these Dollar General stores. And I don't know about in your part of the country, but around here they got a Dollar General in practically every little corner you come to. You don't have to drive far to find one of their stores. Anyway, thanks for listening to me today. I'll continue the video. I never know, something might happen.